And welcome to Juck on Bucks. Appreciate you so much for joining me. Listen, I'm down here. Sorry, no show today, guys. I was really busy, but I'm so irritated that I just got to pump this out here. But first, before I do, if you haven't heard, if you're a regular Juck guy, we've got some changes going on here at Juck on Bucks. Now, important to note first, right off the rip, you're still going to find tons of Juck on Bucks content, tons of the stuff I do right here on this channel. But I have also joined the crew over at Buckeye Huddle. Buckeye Huddle has a YouTube channel. Buckeye Huddle has a website, buckeyehuddle.com. That is Tom Orr and Tony Gerdeman. Those two are great, cover the beat. Mark Givler, Kevin Noon, Andrew Ellis, Chip Minich, Ross Fulton. Very large team. I think it's the most comprehensive team that covers Ohio State. And now I'm part of it. I got a lot of different duties that I get to perform. One that I'm really excited about, and you know I love this. I get to go to games in Northeast Ohio, high school football games, go down the sideline, shoot video. That I'm just stoked about. I also get to recruit. I get to host the Skull Session recruiting podcast with Mark Givler. That's the one I was talking to you guys about the other day. Now, Mark, fantastic recruiting guy, super tuned in, not just one of these recruiting guys that like passes off information. I'll give you an example. August 23rd, he's going down to Broward County, Florida, flying down there to go to a showcase with St. Thomas Aquinas, Chaminade Madonna, and a bunch of the premier schools down in Broward County, checking out Ohio State prospects, evaluating talent. Like the guy actually does the work. He does the leg work, not just passing off information, though he's got a ton. And I think with me quarterbacking that show, pulling the information out of him that we want to know, it's going to be fantastic. So look out for the Skull Sessions. I'll let you know when those are popping up. And then every Monday and Wednesday, I'm going to be hosting Buckeye Huddle Prime Time. It's a new show we've started at Buckeye Huddle. That'll be live at 8 p.m. all throughout the season. 8 p.m. Monday, Wednesday. So Monday, we'll talk about the games that just passed. Wednesday, we'll hit on Ryan Day's Tuesday press conference and kind of roll into the following week's game. And we're going to do that every Monday and Wednesday at 8. And on the days in between that, you're going to get your regular Juck on Bucks, whether that be, we may go live some nights at 7:30 or 8, or it may be your morning video. Just kind of depends on my schedule and kind of how you're watching, your viewing patterns are going. Like if those shows at Buckeye Huddle are blowing up at 8 p.m., then I'll probably just move all the Juck on Bucks shows to 8 p.m. as well and just keep going live with them throughout the season. Going to be a little bit of trial and error, but I got full creative control over there. It's going to be the exact same stuff you like here. So they're not telling me I can't say this or can't say that. So if you like this show, you'll like it over there. Now, this is important if you listen in audio format to Juck on Bucks. You got to go to the Buckeye Huddle channel and find those. I guess they'll probably be released Tuesday and Thursday, the Monday and Wednesday show. They'll be on the Buckeye channel. They won't be on the normal feed you find me on. So you got to go there. It's got a black logo. It says BH Prime Time with Juck. Just set that up. So it might take a few days to populate on Apple Pods and Spotify. So if you're looking and saying, man, I can't find Juck on Bucks for a couple of days, remember, go check Buckeye Huddle. It'll be over there. So that's my news. I'm really pumped about it, guys. So I actually just got done writing an article. That's why my first ever sports article. I had to write an article for the website. I chose to write about what else? The offensive line. And it was really challenging, but it was a lot of fun. I hope it goes over great. Maybe it doesn't. Either way, I got a great reception from the guys on the board over there. I was really nervous about that. This is kind of off the wall hire. But man, they were all really nice and it was really cool. And if you have never been on a board, if you're someone who really likes to stay in tune, it's a great way to interact and really stay in tune. Like people will populate every piece of news that's popping out. You'll be on top of everything. And over there at Buckeye Huddle, it's my favorite. I've been there for a year and a half. I don't really talk. I just kind of read, but now I'm going to talk more. So if you want to come over there, all the guys that work over there talk, like, they're responding to everything. So really cool if you want to go and subscribe over there, but you don't need to subscribe to read some articles. You can still make Buckeye Huddle part of your daily routine. All right. I've sold enough. Now let's talk about what we got to talk about. I don't know how the Michigan scandal is going to end as far as the NCAA goes, or what the punishment's going to be. I don't know what you feel is an appropriate punishment that's going to make you happy. I don't have any faith in the NCAA, so I've not made any guesses one way or the other what I think will happen based on past precedent. I think this is kind of an unprecedented thing, but every game of every season that Stallions was participating in, from the first time they caught him doing advanced scouting, if all those games were forfeited, that would make me happy. Now, that's totally retroactive. It doesn't affect them moving forward at all, but I would be happy with that. If they had a 2-year postseason ban, I would be happy with that. If they had both, I'd be really happy. If I only had to choose one, I think that's a good question. What would you choose? Take away the national championship and all the wins, or the 2-year postseason ban? Well, do you think they're going to win the national championship in the next 2 years? I don't. So I think I would prefer take away all the wins and then the record books strip them of that national championship. Some people don't care about retroactive vacation of wins. I think this is a different scenario. People will say, like, we saw it happen. It happened. But this is different. This is saying we saw enough evidence to show that those wins were not won fairly. And it's not like there were some violations of some kid took some money. It's on-field cheating. And you can't quantify how many points it is. Can't quantify how many points it didn't help. So taking those wins away, I think it would mean a lot. And boy, it would just be great to watch them squirm over that. It really would. But I don't think I've put much thought onto what punishment I want for Connor Stalions himself. Never really thought about it. And this guy, I would sure love to see him get a very long show cause. The amount of embarrassment that he's caused college football in general, the number of times they caught him violating rules over and over again, trying to cover up the violations. Heck, he made the offensive coordinator at the time, Sherrone Moore, so angry with his violations. Sherrone Moore was so disgusted that he had to erase the text messages. Remember? That's why he did that. He was so disgusted with him. Moore, of course, will serve some kind of suspension. We know that for sure, as Michigan has already offered up a 2-game suspension. More on that Michigan-Oklahoma game in a second. But that leads us to Jack Sawyer. So Jack is in some podcast, and Jack has something to say. I want to play you what Jack said.
How much did the sign stealing, do you think, really play?
I'll say this. I think they beat us straight up last year, obviously, and the year before. But my sophomore year, we left the field and we were like, this feels weird. We lost, by double digits, and it felt like we had beat the shit out of them all game. You know, we were in a screen pass that we had never put in. Not the formation, not the look, anything. And like, you see them on the sideline, they're doing it, and we change it, we audible do it or whatever. And when we run it, all the D linemen, as soon as the ball was snapped, the linebackers, everybody, they sniffed it out. We ran a tight end screen from the 25-yard line going in, and they snuff it out on first and 10. Come on, man.
It's just good scout.
It's a good scout.
All right. So Jack says that in that podcast clip. At this point, I don't know why any of these, I don't know what they have to gain, the players, the Buckeye players, by talking about this. I appreciate Jack's honesty. I don't know if you guys follow along on Twitter at all, but Jack is like the single guy that they target. He's their ultimate meme, and they'll put 0-4 on any picture of him. It's just like, it's always him, and they trash him, and I can't stand it. But now that this was Jack saying this, it's just gonna, he's getting trashed again, and it just makes me so angry. And then you had Buckeye fans trying to trash Jack, taking what he said out of context, in my opinion, about winning the national championship and the rivalry, trying to say that he was diminishing it. And I'm a big defender of the rivalry. I didn't take it that way at all. I thought he was basically saying, look, we won the ultimate prize, and it's not going to, those losses aren't going to overshadow that for me. The hardest run we've ever seen in the history of the game, which, by the way, remind me about that too. So on the same day Jack makes these comments, we see Central Michigan get a notice of allegations finally from the NCAA for the role they played in the sign stealing, for Stallions being on their sideline. Central Michigan was informed on June 27th that their 90-day window has started to respond to the NCAA for a notice of allegations. Now, November 3rd of 2023, there was a notice inquiry sent to Central Michigan from the NCAA. And the process lasted 387 days and was delayed multiple times after they provided false or misleading information or withheld requested materials by the enforcement staff. The reboard view did not meet again until November of 2024, over a year later. Now, the NCAA certainly takes too long to do these things. We all know that. It's obviously ridiculous that the Michigan thing is still going on, but this one doesn't appear to be their fault. It sounds like Central Michigan was trying to kind of skirt it along. But Central Michigan says they are aware of Stalions saying in the documentary that he didn't recall attending the game in that documentary. And he said, I don't think that guy looks like me, being a wise guy. But Central Michigan says that for the last 10 months, they've been fully cooperating. So for the last 10 months, they decided to cooperate. But at the time, Stalions was on that sideline at Central Michigan. He also had been a coach at Michigan with Jim McElwain, the head coach. And he was also there. The quarterback coach, Jake Costner, was a student assistant with him at Michigan. So obviously he was tied into them. Michigan State was the opponent. Michigan State was later on Michigan's schedule. And it's just kind of this, okay, well, who was gaining from this? Was Stalions deciphering Michigan State for them, or was Stalions there scouting Michigan State? I mean, who knows? I think it's probably a little bit of both, but I would lean towards Stalions was there with his camera and his glasses getting the signs. Like, that's why he was paying people to go around the country to record, to look, get seats across from their coaches and look. So 2 more things come out in the same day related to the Stalions moron. And it's like it just never ends. But Stalions couldn't leave it alone. He could not leave it alone. Jack says what Jack said, and he had to rebut that. Similarly, Sonny Dykes, TCU's head coach. There's an article that comes out. Sonny Dykes talks about the sign stealing in the game, TCU Michigan years ago. And he had to come with this big, long counter to what Sonny Dykes said. Ironically, what he said to Sonny Dykes has totally contradicted and blown up the response that he has for Jack. So we just talked about 7 days ago, the Sonny Dykes situation. What did he have to say about what Jack said? He types out bullet points. Number 1, he says, Jack is saying that Ohio State never ran a slot YY formation. YouTube, and you'll see them run that look. Number 2, their signal for this play was the letter Y, tight end in 99% of offenses, and the delay of game sign. So Y, delay. Wonder what that is. Number 3, Jack is admitting they never ran the play before. And number 4, your head coach already admitted that you changed your signs for us. I'll stop there. I'm at 4 bullet points. Maybe I'll add a 5th in November. All right. So he thinks he greased Jack here. Thinks he greased him pretty good. Blew his points out of the water. But I got some questions. Bullet point number 1. Jack said they never ran the YY formation. Stallion says that's not true. I don't know the answer here, but it doesn't really matter. Number 2. This is where I'm very suspect here. So we have now learned a whole lot about this stuff, and we know that every team has a sign stealing guy that deciphers and tries to pick signs. We know that. Every team's got one. They try to pick signs. We saw Stalions in his documentary, all the work he went through in the million different signs. We see guys signaling on the sideline. It's a lot of signals, a lot of stuff going on there. And he's trying to say that knowing there is a sign stealing guy on Michigan's sideline, knowing that he has gotten them before, right? It's admitted that he's gotten them before. Ohio State changed the signals supposedly in 2022. And knowing that the sign is Y, delay, it's something that simple, that easy. I have a hard time believing that. I think he's lying about that. Then he says Jack admits that this was the first time they ran it. I'm at a loss here. I don't know. Makes no sense. But the thing that is, it's just more of an example of Jack. Just things seemed off to him. He's pointing out an example. Things seemed off. He's pointing out this play because it's just one that stands out. But everything felt off. And we're talking about a guy who's played a ton of football, and it just didn't feel right. The coach admitted to changing the signals. Stallions' final bullet point. Now, that's interesting. So what was last year's game? 2024. That was Jack's senior year. 2023 was Jack's junior year. Jack admits that those 2 years, Ohio State lost fair and square. It's his sophomore year that he's talking about, 2022. And it's true that it did come from Ohio State that they changed some signs. Guess what Stallions had to say about the 22 game just the other week when addressing the Sonny Dykes thing? To say anyone fooled me is admitting that you have no idea how sign deciphering and protection works. No team has ever changed signs, meaning they don't recycle the same signal to have different meanings. That would just confuse the 18-year-olds on the field more than it would confuse me. They simply create new signals. There were 7 games in my time at Michigan where I knew almost every signal the whole game. 21 MSU, 22 MSU, 22 PSU, 22 OSU. So he's saying, as a defense, you said you changed your signs. And then he's also saying, I knew the signs for the entire game, every single one. Said it last week. So in his bullet points, he lists, your coach admitted that he changed the signals for that game, but he's already admitted that he knew all the signals. So which is it? Which is it, man? One of 7 games that he knew 100%. Jack said it felt fishy. I take Jack's word for it. It's just absurd. It's just absurd that this guy just keeps coming out here. And if I was a Michigan fan, I would be so embarrassed by this dude. The fact that this guy went through all the aggravation, all the money, all the funding to send people to these games, to record these games, to get these, like, none of that's cheap, man. This is a lot of work, a lot of aggravation. Have you ever tried to even just send footage from an iPhone to somebody? It's annoying if it's long. It's really ridiculous to even try to do. But then he's got to sift through the footage. It's just a massive pain. And the people that say there's no advantage to be gained here, nobody would go through this amount of nonsense and rigmarole for no reason. It's just absurd to me. It really is. But give us 2 weeks, man. Give us 2 weeks. I hope that this, I hope it doesn't drop like right before weekend number 1 of football. I would like to have at least a good week to kind of process this whole thing because it's coming. It is absolutely coming. Now, today, tomorrow, camp starts tomorrow. Yeah, sorry. It's 2 a.m. here. Camp starts tomorrow. What are you most excited for? Obviously, we get to see the physical transformations. I'm really excited for that. Been a while since we've seen a lot of these guys, and there are a few I'm looking excited to seeing. I want to pull up some pictures. This is the time of the year where the guys get the pictures taken at the Woody, and we got some, well, for one, take a look at Turbo Rogers. That's Turbo, freshman running back Turbo Rogers. He's about 5'8", 190. That is a well-built dude. And when people talk about him, they talk about him in terms of, scat back, can't do this, can't do that. This guy, another 10 pounds, going to be 210 pounder. Can't wait to see. Also got a little footage of him working out here. Here's Turbo, and he's not going really fast, but he does pick up. You can kind of see a little bit here of his twitch, but just his body in motion, man. The dude's pretty special. He's a pretty special back. One time I did a side-by-side. I did him, and I did Michigan's Jasper Parker. He was a commit for them. And I put them side-by-side. They were doing the same drill. And I put them one on the top, one on the bottom. It was hilarious. Turbo was much faster. Then we've got our dude K-Mac. Look at him. He is looking svelte. He's been taking training seriously. His arms look bigger. His belly looks smaller. That is great news. Juck'Eye Eli Lee, freshman linebacker, our guy, freshman Zion Grady. looking massive. Freshman Jarquez Carter, also looking great. Take a look at Ethan Anyanwa and Austin Sareveld. Would you look at Sareveld? Big time body transformation. His arms are just massive now. Also, notice the hairline. Notice the hairline, and then I want to play you something. This is from Juck on Bucks episode number 4 or 5. You'll get a kick out of this. If you ask any scout what they look for when they're looking at offensive linemen, after size, they look for where they carry their weight. And they want it to be in their ass and in their thighs. I look for premature balding. Any lineman in college that is prematurely balding is always a monster. And Seth McLaughlin is prematurely balding, so I think it's safe to say that he's going to be a beast. Who was right? Your boy was right. That was before Seth ever played a snap for the Buckeyes. Now, Ethan, our man here, Austin, obviously prematurely balding. But here's the funny thing. I tweeted that the other day. Guess who got a kick out of that tweet and liked it? Our dude, Max Riley. Max Riley liked that tweet. Max, obviously, in the class of 2026, going to be a beast offensive lineman as well. And he really liked that tweet. And I respect the hell out of him for that. That is awesome. DJ Lagway, guys. DJ Lagway is hurt again. DJ Lagway in a walking boot. Of course, it's DJ Lagway, Arch Manning. They're the quarterbacks nobody's seen that everybody's all going gaga about. He had a shoulder injury that kept him from throwing all of spring. Now, camp starting, and he's not going to be able to start camp. He's day-to-day, according to Bonehead Billy.
What's the concern level for him, and how much do you think he's going to be able to do in these?
Yeah, I think he'll be, again, he's day-to-day. The good thing is that I think we're about a week removed, so in general, he's made a lot of quick progress, but it will be something that we're monitoring, and hopefully as we go, his ability to participate in practice will be a little bit more each opportunity that we get going forward.
We talked last year about Devin Brown constantly. Devin Brown, was he injury prone, or did he just get some unlucky injuries? I guess same thing with Lagway. Is this guy injury prone, or just a couple unlucky injuries? Had a shoulder, kept him out all of spring. Didn't even throw. Now you go into spring camp. Now you go into fall camp. Dude's in a walking boot. Supposedly day to day. So people were worried about this before this happened. People were talking about, is this guy, is he injury prone? He was injured his freshman year, injured in the spring, now injured in the fall. Doesn't look great. Does not look great. We'll stay in the state of Florida. I want you to listen to Mike Norvell. I don't know if this would fire me up necessarily if this were my head coach. I'll just say that.
Right, I want guys that are willing to grasp it, to hold it, to push it, to step forward, and to go be it. Right, and that's what's needed. And that's what I believe that I'm seeing within this football team. That's what once again, we start fall camp next Wednesday. Right, and I want them to be pissed off to go be their best every single day. Right, it's not about last year. It's not about anything that they've done up to this point in their career. It's about this season with each day and every step that's in front of us to go put it on display for what you want to be. Don't talk about it. Let's go do it. The opportunity to come back and to be a part of what this team's going to be. Oh, I wanted guys that were on the edge of their seat, ready to go attack that work. And I can't wait to fall camp because I'm going to.
They were on the edge of their seat to come back and play on that 2-10 team. Edge of their seat. In addition, I want to play you this from James Franklin. Now, just a little 5-second snippet here of James. I've got a 3-minute video of him where he is talking about, maybe I'll play a little longer. I am so irritated. And you guys, I was listening to an SEC Homer show the other day, and they were talking about the SEC. He's saying people say the SEC doesn't play big out of conference and the Big Ten talking all this crap. And then he's listing all the games that SEC teams are playing. LSU's playing Clemson, et cetera, going through the list. Texas playing Ohio State. And then he goes through who's the Big Ten playing out of conference. And he lists, and there's not many. There's just a couple. So by his logic, that means the SEC schedule much more difficult. And he's just failing to realize that the SEC, they all have, for the most part, 3 cream puffs because they only play 8 conference games. It's like the math just, they can't grasp it. The Big Ten, only a few teams have 3 cream puffs. I just don't know what's so difficult for them to grasp, but I just heard Paul Feinbaum basically say the same thing. I don't know what's so hard about this, but I know that the Big Ten did it to themselves. Here's James Franklin saying the same.
It makes sense. If you look, when the Big Ten first went to 9 games, you could make the argument maybe the worst decision the Big Ten has ever made. Just mathematically, we were going to have more losses. We were going to beat each other up. Over the last 2 years, we've been more strategic about that. It's worked out pretty well. So there's an easy solution to this. Everybody play the same number of games. Everybody play a conference championship. And then everything else will take care of itself. We were sold in the Big Ten all those years when we went to 9 games. That strength of schedule was going to determine the teams that got into the 4-team playoff. That never played out to be the case. It never played out to be.
That is absolutely untrue. That is totally untrue. I'll pull up the records. We'll go through it all. That is absolutely unequivocally false to say that that never played out. I just vehemently disagree with that totally. There was a lot of years where there was one team and another team as to who was going to make it in, and the team with the stronger strength of schedule made it in. And usually it was very clearly obvious who the 1 and 2 and usually 1, 2, and 3 were. Clearly obvious. Like there was no debate whatsoever. And then for 4 and 5, sometimes there was some debate. Usually strength of schedule is what won out. And you usually don't need a metric for strength of schedule. You and I can usually look at 2 schedules, having watched the college football season, and said, yeah, this one's got more meat to the bone. Anyway, the Woody. I did not show you this video. I told you I was going to show you this video last week. Somebody sent me a Twitter message and asked, hey, or they said I was listening on podcast. Can you send me the video? And I was like, oh, I forgot to play that on the show. I just said I was going to play it. So here is the new addition to the Woody that I'm thrilled about. Here we go. Now, what we're looking at, guys, LED boards that are showing us the national championship. They're LED board banners. And I don't know if you recall what used to be here, but they were vinyl banners. They weren't even red. They were like crimson. Like crimson colored vinyl banners. Some of them were faded from the sun because they were older and some weren't. And now it's just beautiful. It pops. I totally love this edition. They also added stadium lighting inside the Woody. And, you know, if you've never been in there, it used to be a very dreary kind of look. The lighting was poor. It was kind of depressing looking in there. Now, well lit, beautiful signage for the LED boards, and just a really, really good look in there. Look at that. You got a new fan. You got a red Buckeye leaf in the fan. Okay, we can deal with that too. So, good stuff. Any upgrade's a good upgrade. We will take it. And I wanted to show you one last thing before I peel out of here and go to bed. There's a guy, and he works in some capacity in Ohio State, like art and design or something. And he was playing around with Buckeye uniforms. And he decided, I am going to make an all white, all scarlet, all gray, and all black uniform and put them side by side. And when I say all white, I mean including helmet, all scarlet, including helmet. Now, I want you to take a look at these if you haven't seen them and tell me how much you love it and which one you love the most. Now, the white got all the love on the interwebs. The white is sweet. The scarlet, very mixed reactions. Very mixed reactions with the scarlet helmet. In fact, if you want to see a close-up in the helmet, I can pull up the helmets here. What do you think of the white helmet? We got the white helmet. Now, that one has scarlet Buckeye leaves. I wanted to see it in green Buckeye leaves. And so on the full-size uniform, it's got green Buckeye leaves. So what I did there was I took the classic helmet and I put it on top of the white uniform. That's the guy in the back. So the guy in the front has the white helmet. The guy in the back has the regular helmet. I kind of love it with both. I think I might love it better with the regular helmet, to be honest. It's just a great look. It's a fantastic look. Now, that red helmet, I don't know, man. I don't know. Love to know what you guys think about the red one. That is, I got mixed feelings. I feel like it looks really chintzy and cheesy at times and then kind of hard at the same time. IGB. Man, that is a well-built cornerback. Look at how long his arms are, too. Who else we got? Riley? Take a look at Riley Pettijohn. Look at Riley Pettijohn's neck. Look at that neck. He's a freshman. Now, this interesting here. So at Media Days, Sonny Styles said that Riley and TJ Alford were both hitting 230, 235 on a scale. I didn't even believe it. I asked TJ. TJ said, yep, he's between 230 and 235 now. They're both freshmen. Neither of them are Sonny's height. They're like 6'2" tops. And they're both at 235 now. 230, 235. The linebacker room is so bright. It is so bright. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. I'm going to hit the sack. Yeah, kind of a lousy show. I apologize. But I did just want to come on and yap into the mic because I feel like it's been a while. It was just yesterday. I don't know. I was jonesing to talk. Anyway, appreciate you so much. Please like the show. Actually, if you don't like it because I didn't really like it either. But I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon. Juck 'em Bucks out. Oh, wait. Don't forget, tonight, Wednesday night, Buckeye Huddle primetime with Juck. Can't wait to see you there. Be sure to talk to me in the comments section. What I really need is I need some help from my best friends. So when I finish the segments, right, when I'm done with my segment and I go into the chat at the end, I need you guys to put something for me to respond to. Because if there is nothing and everybody's just talking to themselves and I can't find anything to respond to, then I got to kind of peter out. I got to cut the show. But if somebody can get me engaged and then somebody else will get me engaged, and we'll be able to keep the show going a little longer like that. So toss me a question or something to get me going with the chat so I can bring the people in if you're there tonight, 8 p.m. Wednesday evening. All right. Talk to you then. Juck 'em Bucks out.